If you haven't backtested your strategy, you're basically gambling with your results, and I mean that. I don't care how many YouTube videos you watched or how many strategies you've saved. If you haven't tested it against real historical data, you don't know if it actually works. Today, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I backtest step by step, how to choose your time frame, how to track your data, the mistakes I don't want you making, and how this one habit can be the thing that takes you from inconsistent to profitable. Backtesting lets you test your strategy against historical data to see how it would have performed under different market conditions. Simple as that. But what it actually does for you is these three things. It builds confidence in your system, it uncovers flaws you didn't know were there, and it fine-tunes the effectiveness of how you trade. The goal is to understand how your strategy responds when the market shifts. What are the weaknesses? What do you need to adjust? That's the whole point of backtesting. And I want to preface one thing. Before you go searching the internet for a shortcut, stop. Do not use automated backtesting tools. I know there's ads everywhere for them. They look easy, they look fast, but they're highly inaccurate and they remove the entire benefit of backtesting. Manual backtesting forces you to engage with the charts candle by candle. You're making decisions the same way you would in real time. You're picking up nuances that a bot can't replicate. Step 1 is choosing your time frame. The real first step is choosing the right time frame, and that depends on how you trade. Swing traders focus on the past 1 to 2 years of data. Don't backtest the past 10 years. The market changes over time, and too much data will add noise. For day traders and scalpers, you could backtest 3 months to 6 months of data. If you analyze on the 1-minute chart, 1 to 2 months worth of backtesting data is enough before you move to paper trading. The only exception is testing something very specific, like how the market behaves during election season. Then go back further, but only for that narrow window. When you backtest, you want to backtest your normal routine. For me, the first step would be charting my supply and demand zones on the higher time frames. I could backtest the different time frames of identifying the supply and demand zones. Then the second step is start with a random day to backtest. I like to backtest using on-demand on Thinkorswim, so I replicate my entire trading routine. I start with doing pre-market analysis on the high time frame, marking my supply and demand zones and creating my plan, and then once the market opens, I drop to the 5-minute chart to replicate my day trading process. For swing trading, you also want to replicate your swing trading routine and process as you would do it live. Start by being on the high time frame chart for your analysis, identify your levels of interest or supply and demand zones, and then the point of the backtest is to review how price tested your levels over time. When you start backtesting, focus on one stock at a time. Don't spread yourself too thin, testing 5 or 6 stocks at once. Focus on one until you deeply understand how it moves, its volatility, its patterns, how it reacts to news. For my first 3 years of trading, I pretty much only traded SPY. I took hundreds of trades on SPY, and before that, I backtested thousands of setups on that specific ticker. 2023 was the last year where I primarily traded SPY, and I ended with a 70% win rate and a 1 to 4.6 risk-reward ratio. This year, I started trading multiple stocks. That could be 1 to 4 different stocks in the same day. My win rate dropped to 66%, and my risk-reward ratio went from 4.6 to 3.58. However, I'm making more money because of my higher position size and taking more trades. Now I have more opportunities. But the rates went slightly down because I spread myself across more stocks. And I can handle trading multiple stocks at once because I built a really solid foundation over the years. So what I recommend is to master one stock first. Backtest it, paper trade it, then live trade it. After you live trade it and you've proven yourself consistency, then that's when you expand on your position sizing or the amount of tickers that you watch. The next step is testing individual factors. Now, don't just backtest your whole strategy as one thing. You can also break it down. Test the individual components separately, because you might test everything together and get a 55% win rate and it looks okay, but you don't know what's dragging your win rate down. Maybe one factor has a 30% win rate and is pulling everything else down with it. Remove that one thing and suddenly you could boost your win rate to 65%. For example, there's multiple layers to my strategy. Analyzing the trend, analyzing indicators, using confirmations. But if I want to test one independent factor with a strict exit strategy just to test the effectiveness of that factor. For example, maybe I would just test supply and demand zones. Maybe I would compare zone reliability of only entering from 4-hour zones and only targeting 4-hour zones and only doing it with a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, and comparing that individual factor of 4-hour zones versus only marking 1-hour zones, and comparing that. What would be the results of only using 4-hour zones versus only using 1-hour zones versus using all of the zones, the 4-hour to the 1-hour zones? What would be the difference in the win rate? What would be the difference in the hold time? These would be all the things that we're testing in our back test. One thing I found back in 2022 and 2023 is that I used to mark 30-minute zones, but I realized that they had a much lower win rate than my higher time frame 1-hour and 4-hour zones. And once the test revealed that the 30-minute zones were unreliable, I stopped using them entirely and my results boosted. We could test different exit strategies. We could test a dynamic market structure based exit strategy, or we could test a strict 1-to-3 risk reward ratio stop loss and target exit strategy. We can test different risk reward ratios, entering on the same setups but aiming for a 1-to-2 versus a 1-to-3. We can test different entry confirmations independently and see if candlestick patterns or indicators are more reliable when it tests our zones. What I recommend is to test each piece alone first and then combine your winning factors from your results. Once you've tested individual factors, you combine the ones that worked and create clear rules. And I mean clear, not based on a feeling or intuitions. Objective, repeatable rules grounded in what your data showed you. If your rules are vague in backtesting, your results won't transfer to live trading. You need the same exact structure in both environments, and that's how you transfer your successful backtesting and paper trading results to live trading. So an example of my routine is, first I identify my zones on the higher time frame. I wait for price to test my zones, and I only enter when specific confirmations are met. Then I manage with an exit strategy. If you're doing supply zones, you identify your zone. Once price touches your zone, that's your entry. You could place limit orders. I like to use trigger with the brackets that automate your entry, your stop loss, and your target. And you could automate your trading plan with the OCO bracket for your swing trades. Most importantly, there is no point in backtesting if you're not tracking the data. You need win rates. You need risk reward ratios. You need actual numbers. So here's how to actually track your data. Let's talk about the importance of journaling. For every single trade, you want to log the entry date, entry time, exit time, the price, the confirmations you used, why did you decide to enter, the outcome, why did you decide to exit, and the overall context, the high time frame market conditions. You could note the trend, if it's an uptrend or a downtrend, what the type of volatility is, if there's any relevant news or events according to that specific date. And after you backtest at least 40 trades, you will clearly see patterns between these components. Now, there are 3 key mistakes you need to avoid when backtesting. 1, do not adjust your strategy in the middle of a backtest. If you change your rules halfway through, your data becomes useless. Finish the test, take notes, then create a separate test with the adjusted rules and then compare. Mistake number 2, do not cherry pick setups. If your criteria is met, you take the trade, even if you have a bad feeling. The purpose is to test the strategy overall, not how you feel, not your emotions, just subjectively tracking your confirmations to see if it's a winning strategy. Number 3, track the anomalies. If a trade didn't meet your criteria, but it actually would have been profitable, screenshot it. That's actually how I developed my current exit strategy. I kept seeing trades where a strict limit order would have caused a loss, but an earlier exit based on a specific signal would have been a win. After I saw that pattern enough times, I made the adjustment. 2 platforms I recommend you to use for backtesting and live trading overall is Thinkorswim and TradingView. With Thinkorswim, you're going to use their on-demand platform. You log it to the live trading side first, and then you click the on-demand button. From there, you pick your date, set your time. I usually start at 9 a.m. plan, create the plan, and then you could play it through from market open at 3x speed or normal speed. You can place trades, manage positions, all of that, even practice paper trading options specifically. And don't worry, it's all paper money, but you can execute like it's real, especially for options trading. And that's the whole point, for you to get comfortable with your strategy and gather data. Now, TradingView, this is also a very useful tool for backtesting, and it is a little faster. You can click replay, pick your date, chart your zones on the higher time frame, and drop down to the 5-minute time frame and hit play. You can get through 6 months of data in 2 to 3 hours. It's pretty quick. And since TradingView stimulates stock trading, if you're betting that the stock will go down, you have to sell short. You have to sell the stock in TradingView if you're betting that the stock's going to go down. But when you actually trade options, we buy puts to enter in puts. So just keep that in mind so it doesn't throw you off when you do get into options. Either platform works, pick whichever one works best for you, and just start gathering data and get real experience with your screen time. That's the entire backtesting process. From choosing your time frame, to testing your individual factors, to combining them into clear rules, to tracking every single trade with real data. Now, if you're doing this alone and you want someone actually reviewing your trades, correcting your mistakes, and helping you build this system side by side with you, that's exactly what my one-on-one mentorship is for. The link to apply is in the description below. Now, if you want my full day trading roadmap, watch this video next. It walks you through exactly how to start trading options the right way. I'll see you in the next video.